Welcome to the doghouse. I hope you're having a great day today. I know I am. It's not fun not to have a great day. This is going to be about the parrots of Otter Creek. That's right, the parrots of Otter Creek that repeat everything. You have a bunch of guys out there parroting a certain person in Otter Creek. Whatever he says, they will repeat it just like a parrot. The reason they repeat this, obviously, is because money in their own pocket. They're so money hungry, they don't care what they're parroting is wrong. Their parrot voice tells you what's wrong in their views, but in reality, they're parroting a certain person's views so they get clicks and money. They care less about the people as long as they get the dollars. And logically, you have to have people to get money. Therefore, the more people you get, the more money you'll get. But they are so worried about what they're making off of one guy. It is unbelievable. And I'm not saying these guys are all bad, but what they are doing is bad. They're so intense with their money deal, they will destroy people that don't need to be destroyed for their own good. When these people are called out on something about a certain issue, they will go all around about it, accuse these people of this and that, and yet they will never say anything about what was brought up because they know they can't, so they have to go out after the individuals. There's one guy that does this. He's a foul-mouthed jerk. We all have foul mouths at times, but this guy takes the cake. I don't think he can have 20 sentences without being a foul mouth. That's all he knows how to do. And I tell you what, and I've learned this in sales, I don't do that anymore, but in sales, if you took two people and you were trying to sell this person the exact same thing and they were going to buy it, when you have such a foul mouth and you use that foul mouth language and the other guy doesn't, the guy that doesn't will generally get the sell, mainly because when you're foul mouthed, that's all you hear. You don't hear the real reason. The foul mouth will get you on the foul mouth and not one thing. Even if they're right, because of their mouth, them words will stand out. That's why you don't see a lot of salesmen, store or otherwise, going around talking like that, because it will offend, and that's all they will hear. You could have the greatest deal in the world. If you have a foul mouth, it's not going to work. But I doubt he can do a podcast on his show or his channel without cussing. We all cuss. I do it on here all the time, but nothing even close to like he does. He is gutter trash to me. This guy is a piece of garbage. And I've heard him more than once, somebody have a good argument and the facts are right in front of him what's going on. He will revert it back and trash that person that said that and never mention what the guy was saying that was true, because he don't want to do that. If he did that, he may offend somebody, so he has to parrot what somebody else has been saying. Parrot is not a great thing to do a lot of times. I like parrots, but not the repeat parroting that's going on. In other words, this guy knows these are... I'm not saying he does say this, but in his mind, he's probably calling them all fools because of the money's there, so he's getting all this publicity and more views and clicks because of them, and they don't get it. They are so afraid of him, they will never say anything negative about him, because if they do, their channel might be hurt. And the money has come more important to them than the reality. No, nobody's perfect. Everybody has problems. And these guys that's parroting out there, the funny thing of it is, some of them have criminal records. They're going after people with criminal records that have nothing to do with the case. And yet, a proven fact, just go to Pacer and look up this other guy's name that they're parroting. He's telling them what to say virtually, maybe not directly, but indirectly, and they're falling for it. He has a record himself. And this is not me out here saying lies. Go to Pacer. He's had a record seal. He's been arrested. That is on the record. But I tell you what, now, I granted, getting your case sealed, that's not a bad idea if you did something wrong. Don't get me wrong there. I have more power to him that he got that accomplished. But don't come out here and say and criticize others that have nothing to do with you and this other two people. Because if you really have the backbone and the courage, I know the people parroting you won't do it because you would be mad at them, and they probably don't even know. Why don't you just come out and say what you had sealed and be honest about it? Say this is what it is, but you won't. That'll take away from the narrative. And do you have kids out there other than the two that you know of? Is there others? I'm not saying there is, but if there is, just come out and say it. Once again, you won't hear these lame brain parrot that's parroting you say anything like that because they're afraid of you. They have no backbone of their own. They are so obsessed with money, they have given up ethics and decency of other human beings. I don't care if some of them say they're Christians and go to church. Going to church has nothing to do with whether you're a Christian or not. There's people that's unalive people that go to church. They're not going to be saved either. So just because you go to church don't mean you're in the right. Using Christianity for your own personal gain don't make it right. You people parroting out there are a shameless bunch of people that you can't have ideas of your own. And I don't say go hate this guy at all. By far not. But have some decency to come up with your own ideas and give your own opinions and not be afraid of what the consequences will be if you don't do 100% what he says. And like I said, it has nothing to do with anything but money here, because you're all afraid. You can have friends and disagree with them, but where it's money involved, you become cowards. And that's exactly what it is becoming cowards. You people out there parroting, look, just like a parrot, you got to repeat what the big guy says. And I'm sure some of you out there doing this know damn well he's in the wrong, but the dollar signs are flickering in your eyes and you're afraid to stand up to him. That's what you call a coward. I don't care if you get on here and say, this guy did this, he's got this criminal record, which has nothing to do with the case. That is called somebody stuck it out there and you're parroting it. You have no backbone, you people that are acting like parrots. If you had backbone, you'd stand up for what is right, even if it's your friend. See, I'm not monetized on here at all. I do mostly shorts more than I do these. So I'm not on here trying to gain a bunch of viewers or subscribers, and I'm not out here begging for money, and I'm not afraid. You know, here's the thing. If this other guy was my buddy and I seen him doing stuff wrong, I would call him out on it. I know in his channel, I've heard him say that he's called people out when they're his friends when they are wrong. So he gets to and you don't, and you see nothing wrong with that. How about looking at the overall picture? Oh no, you can't do that, because you start doing that and focus on what's going on. You can't use all these parroting things to get up what is really going on. How many of you out there has admitted that and there were the bigger ones on the lawsuit, the two biggest ones were dismissed? How many of you even had the guts enough to go out there and say that? If you did, more power to you. See, that's what I'm getting at, is you don't have to be his enemy, just do the right thing. But I know money gets in the way. You guys are so obsessed with money, and one's obsessed with his foul mouth. But outside that, even he's obviously obsessed with money for what he is doing. You cower, every one of you parroting him and afraid of him, have a big yellow streak down your back. Not literally, but figuratively. You have a yellow streak down your back because you ain't got the guts to stand up for what is right. Every one of you should be ashamed that's out there doing this. No, I don't have really a horse in the race one way or other. I see what's wrong, I see what's right. I know nobody involved here. I've talked to some on here, but physically have seen them. No, I have not. And remember, here's a big parroting thing. Obviously the parrots will not say, obviously there was something wrong with this guy's marriage, which has nothing to do with the case. But seeing you guys bringing up people that and the things you're saying has nothing to do with the case, does that mean you should bring up the records that's on file about this person's family? It has nothing to do with the case itself. You guys have said, okay, we'll leave that alone, which is well and fine. I'd never say any of them's names. But when the others come up, you're willing to trash and demean them, and yet what you're going after and saying has nothing to do with the case involved. Why? Because you're afraid to stand up, because you're parrots of this certain person that lives in this town. You think the money is more important than anything else. And yes, some of the stuff that's coming about other people, the ones hollering the loudest are also the ones that have done the exact same thing, or worse. Why? They don't want you to know what's really out there. Once again, because of the yellow streaks down their backs, they want to protect a certain person. And it's a shame that none of them have the guts to stand up and say, this is wrong. Why? The dollar signs are there. You and I both know the dollar signs are more important to most of these people. You know, let him go after people because they stand up. guess what? They're still standing up, and this guy is so much out there right now. All you guys are parroting him. Take a look around at everything's going on. One day he's going to fall hard, and you know what? He's going to put you guys under the bus when this happens. You just wait and see if that don't happen. None of you have the guts enough to stand up to him.